So I'd like to extend a warm welcome to everybody. Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you very much for joining our webinar, Accountagility's webinar, A Day in the Life of Planning. And as we're convening, first of all, can I mention that there'll be opportunity to ask questions at the end. Also to mention that the webinar session should take 30 minutes. That should include some questions. So if you have something in 30 minutes time, you should also be able to hear some questions. Also during that time, you'll hear some interesting facts from our survey. Now, part of the reason for this webinar really is to talk to you a little bit about a survey, an independent survey that we recently sponsored to 200 CFOs and FDs in the financial services sector about various aspects of the finance function. And one of the most startling results for us was to learn that 7 out of 10 of them would like to perform planning more frequently. Now, some of the reasons why they don't currently do that are the huge volumes of data involved, the large numbers of spreadsheets that they have to use, and the challenges of manual adjustments. In fact, it's down to these problems that just over 2/3 of companies that we polled actually limited the number of planning cycles to just once or twice a year. So, as I mentioned, this webinar will take 30 minutes, and during that time you'll hear some more interesting facts from the survey, learn where you can make some improvements to your planning cycle, and reduce reliance on spreadsheets. And that appears to be one of the biggest bugbears that finance departments experience at present. Our own solution from Accountagility, ORYX Plan, is a solution that's been designed to reduce operating costs and risks within the finance function, and the webinar will also spend some time illustrating and demonstrating how it's able to do so. But if I can kick us off, I'd like to introduce a member of our marketing team, Tanya Gardner, who will set the scene about the challenges finance functions face in planning and why the process takes so much effort. Let's see if any of it rings a bell with you. And I forgot to introduce myself. I'm David West, the Sales and Marketing Director for Accountagility. But with that, thank you for your attention, and over to you, Tanya.
Well, thank you very much, David, and good afternoon, everybody. I'm going to run through a short slideshow that does actually indeed set the scene for the planning cycle, but in the most dramatic way possible. This presentation is designed to highlight some of the most extreme examples that we've seen relating to the stresses and strains that finance functions have experienced during their planning cycle. And whilst the events portrayed in this production do often happen, the examples may have been exaggerated for your entertainment. So here we go. We're at the beginning of our planning cycle. It's Monday morning, and the boss wants the quarterly plan completed by the end of the week. Oh, and so it begins. The week ahead is going to take all available staffing resource. We're going to have to collate information from all parts of the business and from numerous IT systems. The finance team knows that there's so much data and too many spreadsheets to contend with. As we move further into the week, the stresses and the strains start to show. The demands build and the requests come flying in.
Where are the Q3 figures?
Don't forget, I need that report.
Remember to do those manual adjustments.
Before long, the team start working well into the night, burning the midnight oil. The bosses are hoping there's enough time to produce the right results, and the dedicated staff are hoping for some downtime. As you can see in our illustration, Bill is thinking,
this plan is scheduled to take 7 hours to recalculate. Crumbs, there are only 3 hours till breakfast.
So what everybody's really wishing for is an end to these time-consuming processes. Jane, who is a finance analyst, illustrated here, loves the flexibility she gets with spreadsheets, but needs the control of an automated solution. Simply put, the choice seems to be either to have flexibility or control. The reality is that finance functions want and need both if they are to remove the obstacles to planning. Everyone can see that tapping into more insightful and efficient data would unlock powerful business intelligence, add value, and drive performance much more effectively. And here we can see that Jane's wishing the company would just take the leap of faith to something new. And so now, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to roll forward to the next quarter. Again, it's Monday morning, and the boss wants the quarterly plan completed by the end of the week. But this time we're using ORYX Plan, an automated solution that removes the obstacles of manually collating information from different parts of the business and various IT systems. It removes the need for manual adjustments and, importantly, relinquishes the need to burn the midnight oil, freeing up staff to be moved to higher value tasks. Today, the planning process looks something like this. We have comprehensive controls and records for governance and audit. We have improved accuracy because data is validated at point of entry. We have improved speed through the integration of the organisation's existing consolidation and ledger systems. And we have instant reporting and analysis accessed by on-demand drill-to-source facility. All of this leads to efficient working practices. We have introduced rapid calculations using our lightning-quick in-memory process technology, which is one of the fastest number crunching solutions in its class. But more importantly, happy members of the finance team, and we also have happy management. So, a win-win situation. Thank you for your attention during this scenario. I'm now going to hand you back to our moderator, David. Over to you, David.
Hey, thank you. Thank you, Tanya. Well, ladies and gentlemen, as Tanya has pointed out, that was a fictitious story for your entertainment and enlightenment, and possibly one of the most extreme cases of the issues faced when performing a planning cycle. In the real world, though, you may well experience one or two of these issues, but nonetheless, whilst exaggerated, our own survey reveals that these are a collection of genuine situations that can be faced by the finance function, and maybe some of them are familiar to you as well. So before we show you how we would handle these scenarios through a demonstration, I'd just like to carry out a short poll. And for that, I'm going to ask you 2 questions around this topic. And be really grateful if you'd be able to give me your view. So on your screen now, you should be seeing the first question. And predictably, the question is, how often does your organization perform financial planning systems per year? So please, would you select your answer by clicking on one of the multiple choice answers. Is your answer never, once, 2 to 3 times, 4 to 5 times, or 6 times or more? So, and the question was again, how often does your organization perform financial planning cycles per year? And I'm just having a look here at some of the answers, and I'll try and give you a summary. So oh, look, we've got a third saying that 6 times or more. That's very impressive, very efficient. And we've got a third also saying only once. And we've got the rest equally split between 2 to 3 times and 4 to 5 times. Now, thank you very much for that. Interestingly enough, that doesn't particularly tally with the results from the survey, where the average number was 2.2. Perhaps if we averaged it, it might be. But anyway, quite a lot more spread out from the people attending this seminar than the average results from the 200 CFOs and FDs that we polled fairly recently. Okay, Second and final question then. Would you like to perform the planning cycle more frequently? Yes or no? Now that's a really simple one. So if you'd like to just let us know what your opinion is on that. Would you like to perform the planning cycle more frequently? Yes or no? And I'm just having a look here at the results of the survey. Well, now this is interesting and isn't at all in line with the survey that we did just a few months ago, which was, so everybody has said no, that they're quite happy with the number of cycles that they currently have. So that's a very definite no there. Whereas 7 out of 10 CFOs that we polled recently said they would like to increase the occurrence of the planning cycle. So that's very interesting. Well, thank you very much. That's very interesting, and I really appreciate you getting involved with the poll. So now I'd like to hand over to Stacey for the next part of the webinar. Stacey's project director here at Accountagility. She's taken a whole number of clients through the process shown in the production that you saw just now, and she'll now take us through the planning cycle using our own ORYX plan solution.
Okay, thank you, David. So I'm just going to switch over to our demo. So I'm going to start at the beginning by showing you ORYX plan's welcome page. It is from here that we are able to access the various areas of the plan. When we first start to create a plan, our very first step is to input our data. This usually requires inputs from various parts of the business, as Tanya highlighted in her scenario earlier. One of the most important inputs is from the general ledger. We understand how important it is that a planning system is fully integrated with your ledger, and so, by using an inbuilt integration feature, ORYX plan inputs all of your actuals into the plan, regardless of the ledger type and irrespective of whether you're running a 5+7 or a 6+6 plan. Our system ensures you have all of your actual data available to you. I now want to show you how ORYX plan deals with manual inputs that, again, are almost always needed. For this illustration, I'm going to use an example of expenses data. Here you can see we have a template for Bristol. So I'm just going to lock this template out here, and this was just going to confirm that I definitely want to lock it out. And what you'll notice is that I've got a link here that allows me to open the template. Within this template, a user can input their information directly. So I want to update my cleaning cost because we've had a flood and we need to increase this expenditure. So I'm going to increase this by 1,000. So you can see here that my cell has changed and it's now bold. That indicates that I've entered a value. What I can do from here is I can put this amount into all of the columns that are either to the left or to the right. And I'm also able to copy the row from year 1 to year 2. So if all of your costs are going to be in the same for your second year of plan, you don't need to re-input it all. It can all come straight from the first year of plan. One of the advantages of this template is that I'm also able to edit a comment. So similar to Excel, where you get a little red icon at the top, I can put in a comment that says, "We had a flood." So here you can see that I've added a comment. I'm going to save that. And when I hover over now, we can see the text that I've just entered. So the interactive input section is a unique feature. It's a little bit like visiting a library and borrowing a template for a short while. This process prevents two users from entering data at the same time and overriding one another's information. Once our user has completed the expenses, they can upload it for review. This automatically submits it to finance or to an administrator. so that it can be reviewed and ensure that there's no anomalies in that data set. Once we're happy with the data, it can be submitted and can be part of our actual plan. Now that we have input all of the inputs into the plan, we can move on to the crunching. ORYX plan uses a rules-based methodology to compute your plan. This approach provides the finance team with the flexibility and scalability needed during the planning process. You may recall from Tanya's presentation earlier, it is not uncommon for a plan to take as long as 7, 8, or even 9 hours to compute. I'd like to show you how we compute a plan. I simply press this button to run the plan, and it's now executing. So we're able to see exactly what's happening at the time. ORYX plan is agile, quick, and dynamic. Currently, it's loading all of our data, including manual adjustments and manual input data. Once this is loaded, it will start to compute our plan. So now you can see that the rules are computing. You can see that we have computed 307 rules, and we have loaded up our analysis cubes. So within 47 seconds, we have loaded our input data, we have crunched our rules, and we have loaded our cube. Considering a plan can often take 7 hours to compute, we have just saved you a full working day. Remember what has been done in this short time: loading all of the data, computing the rules, update of all of the data items and fields, and loading of the analysis cubes for rapid reporting and inquiry. Even the very largest plans that our clients have developed can be crunched in less than 2 minutes. Our plan has been computed with simplicity and ease, so now we can analyse it. So we come on to the analysis section. As you can see, we have a range of cube views that have been designed with users in mind and can be customised to your exact needs. Here we have a range of expenses views that allow us to view expense data to unveil how it's been allocated out. Here we have some financial views, which permits us to look at the financial plan in various formats. When we load up the financial analysis, we're able to see a cube view that enables us to filter on a number of dimensions, which include year, branch, account, and currency. This facility enables us to break down the information into smaller parts that we may want to analyse. We're even able to switch between currencies. One advantage of the cube views are that we're able to export them to Excel. So this means that even on the train home, you can view your data without being connected to ORYX. Once we've finished analysing our plan, we can move on to reporting. So in our reporting section, we have one report for branch analysis. All of our reports are template-based reports, and which again can be configured to meet your exacting design needs. For example, senior managers may have a particular way that they like to see a report, a particular colour, a particular format, or a particular font. Here you're able to customise that to meet your needs. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to execute this report, and this report will open very quickly. So what you can see here is that we've just created an Excel report that you can then send on to your manager to allow them to view and finalise the plan. In less than 8 minutes, we have analysed and reported the plan, and now we're able to close off the planning cycle. So the last step of the plan is to export the plan to your general ledger. We can develop a process that exports the plan data into a format that your general ledger requires, whether that's SAP that only takes 500 rows, or whether that's a JD Edwards ledger that prefers a specific CSV file format. And so, with ORYX Plan, I have demonstrated the creation of a plan from beginning to end and have shown how to close off into a solid general ledger. I hope you have found this interesting, and we will be taking questions at the end of the event. Thank you for your attention. I'm now going to hand back to David.
All right. Thank you, Stacey, for a very insightful view of the ORYX Plan solution. I hope you found that interesting. Just to summarize then, we have a range of solutions of which ORYX Plan is one, and all of them have been designed especially for the needs of finance and finance people. And they've been designed by finance people here at Accountagility. I mean, we really appreciate that there are software solutions out there that are products that have been made to work for finance. They may be started off in IT or elsewhere, whereas ours have really come up from working in finance and seeing the issues and seeing the need for approaches that really match those practical requirements. And we try and provide an end-to-end experience. So all of our clients, some of whom have worked with us for many years now, like working with us because we do understand finance, we talk the finance language, we understand the requirements. And on top of that, of course, IT is a very important part of all this, and we're able to translate the finance requirements into IT terminology, into project results, and make sure that that whole side of it is seamless. So some of our clients are household names around the finance world, and we've worked with organizations globally here in the UK, Europe, Asia, and Americas. So with that, that brings an end to the main part of the webinar. We're going to take questions in a minute. I hope you've enjoyed listening to this. We will be publishing it on the website if you missed some of it or you want to have a look at it again. And we'll be in touch with you after this event to see if we can help you further with anything that has arisen, any issues you've got, any further points, questions, your own planning requirements, anything like that. We'd be delighted